are the group 4 and today we will be discussing about compounds based on chemical and structural formula. Now, here are our objectives. First, differentiate chemical from the structural formula. Next, name compounds given their formula and write the formulas given the name of the compound. And appreciate having a systematic method of representing compounds by using chemical and structural formulas. First, let's have the surprise quiz. Can you unscramble these letters? You have 20 seconds to answer this activity. If you answer compounds, molecule, and ionic, that's right. Let us proceed to our introduction. There are different substances that have been discovered and it is essential to determine their names. To minimize confusion, the name of the substances was standardized and conforms to the guidelines set by the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry or IUPAC.
Let us proceed to our first topic, which is naming ionic compounds. So based on the IUPAC rules or International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, that in naming ionic compounds, it should start with a cation and be followed by an anion. Now here are the steps for naming binary ionic compounds with group 1 and 2 metals. The first step is to name the monoatomic cation or the metal. The second step is to name the monoatomic anion or the non-metal and change the suffix to I. The table below is an example. F for fluoride, O2 for oxide, N3 for nitride, Cl for chloride, S2 for sulfide, P3 for phosphide, Br for bromide, Se2 for selenide, I for iodide ion. Now, the third step in naming binary ionic compounds with group 1 and 2 metals is to write the name of the cation first, followed by the name of the anion with a space in between. The first example is the Ca and Cl2 or calcium chloride. Second example is Na and I, which is sodium iodide. Third example is Li and F, which is lithium fluoride. Lastly, Mg and Br2 or magnesium bromide. Now let us proceed to naming binary ionic compounds, but now with transition metals. The very first step in doing this is to name the monoatomic cation or the metal, since transition metals have variable oxidation numbers or charges. It is important to determine it, and if written, the charges are placed in the parentheses or in Roman numerals. If some books, however, the common names of the transition metals like ferric or F3+, or ferrous or F2+, were still used. The second step is to name the monoatomic anion or the non-metal and change the suffix to I. The third step is to write the name of the cation first, with a charge in Roman numeral inside the parenthesis, followed by the name of the anion with a space in between. Here are the given examples. The first example is NiNO, which is equal to nickel, Roman numeral 2, and oxide. The second example is FeNO, which is equal to iron, Roman numeral 2, and oxide. The third example is the CO and Cl3, which is equal to cobalt 3 and chloride. The fourth and last example is Mn and S, which is equal to manganese 2 and sulfide. Now for ionic compounds containing a polyatomic ion, you can use the same steps and name the polyatomic ion by simply observing the table below.
Now, let us proceed to the next topic, which is representing ionic compounds using chemical formula. An ionic compound resulting from an attraction between a cation and an ion
the attraction between oppositely charged sodium and chloride ions forms the ionic compound, sodium chloride. An ionic compound assumes a crystalline structure, a three-dimensional well-ordered arrangement of cations and anions. The formula for an ionic compound is written by combining the symbols of the cation and anion. An ionic compound is neutral, thus the cations and anions must combine in a ratio when the total positive and negative charges of the ions sum up to zero. Criss-cross method is a shortcut for determining the correct chemical formula for an ionic compound, ensuring the resulting compound is electrically neutral. The first one is set the charge number of the ion as a subscript of the other ion. Number 2, a subscript of 1 is not explicitly written in the formula. Number 3, conversely, if the element in the formula does not have a subscript, the value is understood to be 1. And number 4, if the formula contains reducible subscripts, then the subscripts are expressed in the simplest ratio. And for lastly, number 5, for a polyatomic ion requiring a subscript other than 1, the ion is enclosed in parentheses before the subscript is affixed.
Take a look at how Kirchhoff's rule is applied in each example.
Representing binary covalent compounds using chemical formula. A covalent compound results when nonmetals share electrons. Thus, covalent compounds exist as molecules. The formula of a covalent compound is written based on the Greek prefixes found on its binary name, indicating the number of atoms present. Binary covalent compounds are made of two nonmetals that share electrons. Because of their sharing, we use Greek prefixes to show how many atoms of each element are present. If there is no Greek prefixes found on the first element of the compound, it is considered as having one atom of the element. Let's take a look with this. The table there shows the Greek prefixes, which is number 1 is mono, number 2 is di, number 3 is tri, number 4 is tetra, and number 5 is penta, number 6 is hexa, number 7 hepta, number 8 octa, number 9 nona, and number 10 is deca. Let's have this first example, carbon dioxide or CO2. Since there is no prefix found in carbon, it is considered as mono or having one atom of carbon. On the other hand, oxygen has di in the prefix, so it means there are two atoms of oxygen present. Let's have this second example, dinitrogen tetraoxide or N2O4. Di indicates that there are two atoms of nitrogen present and tetra means that there are four atoms of oxygen present in the compound.
Now let's proceed to the types of chemical formulas. Covalent compounds may be represented using various chemical formulas. These are molecular formula, the empirical formula, and the structural formula. Let us discuss it one by one, starting with the molecular formula.
First is molecular formula. Molecular formula contains the symbol and corresponding number of atoms of the elements in the compound. Second is empirical formula. Empirical formula shows only the reduced form of molecular formula. The subscripts of the original molecular formula are written in their simplest whole number ratio.
Take a look at this table. It shows molecular and empirical formulas of some compound.
Lastly is structural formula. Structural formula shows the bond pattern and connectivity of atoms and compounds. The atom is represented by its element symbol, while lines depict the type of chemical bond between the atoms. The lines represent single and double covalent bonds respectively. And next is condensed structural formula. Simplifies structural formula in which bonding patterns and connectivity are less obvious but are still apparent.
The table below shows structural and condensed structural formulas of some compounds. You may study these tables below as it shows charges of common ions.
Count the types of numbers of atoms in a compound. Retrieve empirical formulas. Show the simplest whole number ratio of atoms. Number 4. Molecular formulas. Show the actual number of atoms in one molecule. Number 5. Structural formulas. Illustrate the arrangement of atoms and types of bonds, single, double, triple, in the molecule.
And that's a wrap for today's topic. Thank you for listening and see you around for more later.